No.82 Squadron RAF was a Royal Air Force squadron that was first formed in 1917 and last disbanded in 1963. It served at times as a bomber unit, a reconnaissance unit and lastly as an intermediate range ballistic missile unit. History, formation and First World War. No.82 Squadron Royal Flying Corps was formed at RAF Doncaster, Yorkshire as an Army cooperation unit on 7 January 1917. It deployed to France flying Armstrong Whitworth Fk-8 aircraft on 20 November 1917. It was declared operational in January 1918, flying artillery spotting and photo reconnaissance over the Western Front, flying heavily in response to the German Spring Offensive. It continued to fly Army cooperation missions until the armistice ended the fighting on the Western Front. The squadron was disbanded on 30 June 1919. Reformation and Second World War. No.82 Squadron was reformed as a light bomber squadron equipped with the Hawker Hind at RAF Andover on 14 June 1937, re-equipping with Blenheim MKs during 1938, and receiving the more advanced Blenheim MK IV in August 1938. The squadron started the Second World War flying anti-shipping missions over the North Sea, one of its aircraft sinking the German submarine U-31 on the 11th of March 1940. The U-31 was subsequently raised and returned to service, being sunk by a destroyer in November. On 10 May 1940, Germany invaded France and the Low Countries, and 82 Squadron was deployed in attacks against the German forces. On 17 May 12 unescorted Blenheims were sent to attack German forces near Gembloux, Belgique, but were intercepted by Messerschmitt Bf 109s, with 11 aircraft being lost. Despite these losses, it continued to fly missions in support of the BEF, and after the evacuation from Dunkirk, against German-held airfields and invasion barges in the Channel ports. On 13 August, a raid on an airfield at Aalborg, Denmark again suffered catastrophic losses to German fighters, losing 11 out of 12. From early 1941, the squadron played a prominent part in No.2 Group's offensive against shipping in the English Channel and North Sea. Losses continued both to fighters and to flag defences. A detachment was sent to Malta in May 1941, with the rest of the squadron following in June. It flew ships against enemy shipping and ports through into July, but extremely heavy losses lead to it being withdrawn back to the UK at the end of the month, being replaced by 110th Squadron. Once back in the UK, it continued anti-shipping strikes as part of 2 Group to India. The squadron left Bomber Command and relocated to RAF Kollavaram, India in early 1942. Re-equipped with Vultee Vengeance dive bombers, the squadron began anti-submarine patrols on 17 November. In June 1943, the squadron began bombing operations against Imperial Japanese targets in Burma from RAF Salbani. It was deployed against the Japanese offensive against Imphal and Kohima. The squadron was re-equipped with Mosquitoes in July 1944, but was temporarily grounded due to failures in the wooden structure before commencing ground attacks orties on 19 December. These operations continued until 12 May 1945, when the squadron was withdrawn to India to prepare for the proposed invasion of Malaya. This operation did not occur due to the end of the war, and the squadron was disbanded on 15 March 1946. Post-war operations in Africa. On 1 October 1946, the squadron was reformed at RAF Benson, equipped with Avro Lancasters and Supermarine Spitfires to undertake aerial surveys of Nigeria, the Gold Coast, Sierra Leone and Gambia. The squadron moved to Kenya in October 1947. In 1952, the squadron relocated to the UK and was re-equipped with Canberras in November 1953, remaining in the reconnaissance role. On 1 September 1956, the squadron was disbanded. On Thor missiles, No. 82 Squadron reformed once again on the 22nd of July 1959 at RAF Shepherd's Grove as a Thor missile unit, part of Project Emily. The upcoming ICBM missiles, however, soon made the Thor Intermediate Range Ballistic Missile obsolete, and in 1962 the Minister of Defense announced the phase-out of the Thor missiles. The unit therefore was disbanded the last time on 10 July 1963. Aircraft operated. Squadron bases.